Welcome to Blinkers Off with your hosts, Jared Welch and Aaron Halterman.
Hello, what is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. It's Thursday, December 18th, and this is Blinkers Off. What's up, man?
Yeah, what's up? December 18th. Hard to believe. Only a few more days left till Christmas. A few more days left in the year. It's the best week of the year. Remington Park Springboard Mile coming up on Saturday. So, I mean, how can you beat it?
And this is the last podcast we're going to do prior to the draft, right? I mean,
right. Yeah, I was going to say next with being Christmas, I don't think we need to do one. But then, of course, the draft coming up on the 29th of December. So that'll be a good way for the last show of the year. Yeah, and that's kind of exciting in its own right as well. There's good racing, and we'll have you covered on the website the day after Christmas. Obviously, Santa Anita, that's always fun. But yeah, going to be good times. And what a 2-day run here for the state of Oklahoma. You got the playoff game on Friday and then the Springboard Mile on Saturday. I'm sure equal attendance probably.
I was going to say, do you think it's about equal as far as the excitement levels?
Yeah, I'd say there'd be about 85,000 at the football game and then 85,000 at Remington Park, right, for the Springboard Mile.
I don't think they could fit 85,000 there. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. But, yeah, big weekend for OU, and that's tomorrow night, right, at like 7:30?
Yep, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and then the Remington Park Springboard Mile goes off at like 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. So get your coffee and have it a little bit later tomorrow or Saturday for that one.
Be on my pajamas for that gun, but that's fine. It's always funny. It's the very last race of the card. It's obviously pitch black. They have lights, but it's just such an odd time for every year. It's always like that. I think there was like one year they had it, or a couple of years maybe, where it was in the afternoon. We went to one when it was the afternoon, wasn't it?
That was Oklahoma Derby.
Oh, that was the Oklahoma Derby. Yeah, as I said that, I realized. But yeah, it's always late, and I don't know. Both these races, I thought the Gun Runner in particular was very tough. I don't know how good either one of these races will be. We'll kind of see as far as long term goes. But man, the Gun Runner, very tricky race, I felt like, to handicap. So I'm anxious to get into that with you.
Yeah, I thought both of them were difficult. I'm with you, and we'll get into which one I think might be stronger or not. But yeah, I think it's a fun 2 races for sure. Gulfstream's got a great card. We'll talk about some of those races, Oaklawn as well. So yeah, I mean it's we're starting to heat back up a little bit. I think really, when the Breeders' Cup ends, kind of the relaunch, even though they run every single day still, the relaunch of kind of the new year of racing starts at Santa Anita, December 26th. So we're still kind of in that in-between period. But I think we've got some good stuff this weekend to lead us into, that little 2 or 3 day break there. And then boom, you're right back there for the 26th of December with Santa Anita. But yeah, look, Remington, it is always kind of unique to see a Derby prep ran at almost 11 o'clock Central Time. So almost into the next day if you're on the East Coast. But that's kind of what makes it unique. And yeah, the last time I was at the Springboard Mile, it was like 5 degrees. I feel like I was the coldest I've ever been at a racetrack. So haven't been back since, actually.
So different. So like we say, like football weather, you're psyched about that kind of weather, but this it's like that's on horse racing weather, right?
No, I do think it is. I don't know about Saturday. I haven't looked. I won't be there, but Friday it looks fine in Oklahoma for a December night. So I don't think it'll be that cold this year, thankfully.
So I was just looking because I was curious as we were talking about the Malibu, what the probables or possibles are looking at. This is off. Again, they're all possible right now. I don't think any of them are confirmed anyway, but goal oriented, Captain Cook, Barnes, Getaway Car, Madcat Road, Midland Money, Bullard, Cornucopian, Modus Biesta, and Speedy Wilson. A bunch of Bafferts, so you're going to get 1 or 2 out of those, but not I don't know, Barnes, I guess, goal oriented. I don't know if any other horses will be interesting in that race, but Barnes was good that last start. Maybe that's the race they point to with him.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see Barnes showing up there. I think that'd be a good spot for him after that last race specifically. Goal oriented is a hard knocking horse for sure. You mentioned Cornucopian and I didn't realize it, but he is back working, and he's worked pretty consistently. I don't know if that's the spot you want to bring him back in, but it's there if you want to do that. So, look, I think that Santa Anita card, it's never like I can't sleep at night waiting for it. But at the same time, it is kind of nice to get Santa Anita back, and the card is pretty good. So, and I think that race will be good, as long as we kind of get 5 or 6 or 7 of who you mentioned there. I don't think it'll be bad. Plus, there's other really good racing on the card as well. So it should be good.
You think Rich Strike might point for that race?
No, I'm going to say no to that one.
Anything new happened since our show last week? Oh my gosh. Holy shit.
That's
one of the most.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's one of the most unexpected, insane, because we've done a lot. I mean, we've had a lot of, posts over the years, and obviously mostly by me and I know I'll even text you before. I'm like, well, this is going to be fun. I know exactly what I'm getting, what I'm doing, and it gets attention and you get everyone all riled up. This was one that was maybe the most sincere and just very, I thought, very basic tweets that I've ever done, and generally wanted to know what was going on. And holy shit, did it take a life? I think everyone in horse racing saw that post.
To say I am shocked would be an understatement. I can't believe. Okay, so basically, you posted it after the show on Thursday.
Yeah. We talked about it on this show, right? This segment right now, while we're kind of talking, you mentioned Rich Strike and the what was going on in Kansas or whatever, and we were like, and then you had researched, or you saw that he was sold for $2,500. It looked like on the Equibase website, and it was listed there, and couldn't find any information on it, so I posted about it and said, hey, looks like he was sold. Anybody have any idea? This is crazy. And then it just it turned into us being like the worst thing ever for the sport. Basically, people were because that's all it was assumptions. And if you just listen to the segment of last week, you could have known that's not what we meant by it. And I never in a million years got to that where I made sense. But basically, it's insinuating that he was sold for $2,500 to go to a kill pin. That's kind of what it went to. And I was like, what?
That's the thing that I got confused about. So I'll give you a timeline because I'm not on it, right? I'm not on Twitter, right? And so I get a text that night from Dennis, and he's like, hey, I messed up. I saw that it was 2,500. It was listed like that, but it was for a breeding season. Have Jared delete the tweet. And you were preoccupied, let's just say, that night. And here's the other thing. We don't live on Twitter. Jared posts something and then might look a day later because, he has things that he does. It's a life. And anyway, so I didn't text you about it because I thought, A, well, I don't care about this. That's not that big of a deal. And B, he's not replying to me right now anyway. And this is not some kind of emergency. Right. And then you text me the next day and it's like, I'm getting screenshots from people. And it's like, what is going on? Why is everybody so upset? And so I'm talking to my friend later that weekend from one of our friends, I should say, down at Oaklawn. And they're laughing about how crazy everybody got. And I was like, can you guys explain to me why? I get making fun of us. Everybody loves to do that. But I was like, why are people angry?
Yeah.
And he said, and this was the first time it even dawned on me that somebody was thinking like this. He said, the way the tweet is worded makes it sound like he's going to a kill shelter or a kill pin. And I go, will you please send me the screenshot of this? Because with the screenshot I've seen, it says nothing like that. I said, maybe he cut it off. Maybe he said something. I knew you didn't, but I was just like, so I send it and it's a tweet and I'm like, how in the hell are people getting to that?
I know.
We literally talked about how he's breeding in Kansas on the show, but even if you didn't hear the show and you saw that tweet, how did you read that tweet and think he's going to a kill pin? I don't understand. at all how people got to that. And I was like, well, I do see why if people think that's what that tweet means, they are very angry. But how in the hell did you get there is what I was just shocked by. But I don't have an answer for you, buddy. I don't.
And not to mention, like, Equibase took that down because it was a very misleading.
Yes.
And I had a screenshot of it. It wasn't like I just said that. Like, it showed what it looked like on the side, which, and they took it down. Like, and so it wasn't like we were, and I wasn't even trying to stir shit up.
No.
Generally, we talked about it on the show, and I even said, I'll post something, so see if anybody knows. Because even when I searched on Twitter before I posted it, there was nothing about anything. So I was like, it's curious. Like, if that would have happened, you would think people would be talking about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I did and posted it, and generally just wanted information. And yeah, hey, we got the answer, but I also got about, I actually ended up deleting it because I finally was like, you know what? At first I was like, fuck that. I'm not deleting it. Like, these motherfuckers can go to hell. I'm not going to give in to whatever. But then I was like, you know what? I'm just done with it. And I'm just going to get rid of it. And then, but the last time I looked, I mean, it was well over 250,000 of impressions of people. I mean, and maybe 100,000 plus like interactions, meaning likes, comments, that kind of stuff. And so it was, everybody like, and so it's always fun to see the insane people kind of come out of the woodworks for us because they hate us. But that one was the most bizarre thing ever because it was not, it's tough when you say something on there and that's the thing too. Like, if you know us, if you watch the show, if you know who we are, we've owned horses, that we've donated money to aftercare programs. Like, if you know us, then obviously that's the most fucking insane take of all time. But the fact that you just, and that's what Twitter and all social media is, it's just hate spewed all around. And that's what they went to. And then just completely everyone jumped on and just said, over and over. And then the more we posted, or more I posted, like saying like, that's not it. It was like, well, they're just, adding fuel to the fire. And it just became like, you couldn't win on it. And it's a wonder why we hate getting on social media.
Well, and it's why I can't. I mean, I literally can't. I wouldn't be here if I had to stay on it. If I was still on it, the screenshots people are sending me, and I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, and I can't believe, and you wouldn't believe, the people when you meet them are nice to you. And then you get on that Twitter, and those same people that you met and you talk to and you even have respect for get on there, and they are just awful to you. And it's just baffling to me how that continues to happen over and over and over. And that's not just to us, to other people as well. And yeah, like one person who I like was like, what took you 10 minutes to do a little research, And I'm like, I actually did. I went to the Fasig-Tipton website, and I said, okay, well, let me confirm this with Equibase. And it was on there. Like, so what am I supposed to do? I did do the research. It did say on Equibase, he was sold for $2,500. It had nothing about breeding seasons or anything. So I actually did do the research, which is why you asked, because you were like, this is weird. What is going on? And again, the people that you meet up at Saratoga, or you meet down at Gulfstream face to face, and they're friendly to you, and then you get on there and they're just the worst. And I don't get that. I don't get why that is, but I mean, that's just why I cannot get on that anymore, because it's just a nightmare, and over nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was nothing. So I don't know. And again, it's wild that somebody would read that and think what they thought and be like, how did you get there? Like, what is, I don't understand this. Is there, I mean, maybe that speaks to a bigger problem in racing, when somebody reads that and that's automatically where their head goes.
Yeah, well, that and I think the biggest thing too for me is that we are just like we've always been looked at like the black sheep of racing, and then it's like these, the big guys, the Andy Sterlings and the Barbara Livingstons and the people that are, like, hey, these guys are, untouchable in racing world. And so the moment that anything is ever said from our end, that doesn't fall in line, and to be fair, like, once again, that I don't feel like this fell in that category, but apparently it did. That doesn't fall into the group, into what you're supposed to act like and supposed to be like. It's, you just get chastised and you're the worst. And it's a wonder how we ever made it, because we were never welcome in the little circle until we finally made the decision. It's like, fuck the circle. We're just going to be what we want to be. And so it's like, I don't give a shit what Andy Sterling has to say or any of those people have to say about Racing Dudes.
No.
But what got me is when people made a judgment of my character, because I posted it, of the Racing Dudes character, of assuming something so terrible like that, and who don't even know us. Like, they don't know us at all, clearly, because if they did, that they would never have got to that assumption. But yeah, it's Rich Strike, man. That horse continues to haunt me forever and ever.
I couldn't agree more with what you said. I think it's very well said. And I just can't believe it took on a life of its own. And the funny thing is, and I'll use Andy Sterling since you used him as an example. He seems like a really nice guy outside of Twitter. Like we've seen him up at Saratoga. He's been friendly out on the town and stuff. Like, he seems like a really chill guy. I don't know him personally, but he's always just been, really nice. And he's the first one, though, on Twitter to get really upset when somebody pokes at him, and when somebody, in his words, when somebody bullies him. He'll bring it up on air. He'll say it on Twitter. But yet he's also the first one to do something like this. And it's just like, you can't really have it both ways. Like, and I understand if you're sensitive, people are sensitive. I mean, I'm sensitive to it, and you hate that kind of stuff. Well, then don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, don't join in on the mob. It's not okay. If you don't think it's okay to happen to you, then you don't do it to other people.
Exactly.
And, I could name a couple other more like, industry professionals that have been nothing but nice when we meet them. And then we get on there and it's like, you're not the same person I met. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing and the final thing, fans and people on there that are fans are gamblers. You can do whatever you want. I mean, if you hate us and you want to do all that, that's fine. I don't really have a problem with it. People in this industry that work in the industry are crazy. Some of them, like, why do you care? Are you insecure about something? Do you have to bring somebody else down to make yourself feel better within the industry? Like, have you ever once cared what other professionals are doing?
No.
Like,
not even a little do I care.
Like Teresa Gennaro, have you ever once thought about one thing she's doing, like, from a professional standpoint, and thought, I better tell her about this? Never. Andy Serling, Jay Privman, I could go down the list. I don't care what they do. I mean, if they murdered somebody or they committed a crime, maybe I would care, but I would never chastise them. I would never talk down to them.
Yeah.
A, I'm not an asshole. And B, I don't really care to try to think that I need to police these people. They can do whatever they want. So even if we did something bad, I don't really need to hear it from you guys. You guys are not in charge of anything. You're not the boss of anything. And I certainly wouldn't go out of my way to talk down to them. Even if they posted something I didn't agree with it, I wouldn't say, make a big deal out of it. So it's just a bizarre thought process, in my opinion. And again, that's why and I know that you send me a screenshot, somebody saying I need to say something on there, something. I was like, I can't even open the app without having this anxiety run through me that,
trust me. Yeah.
I just can't handle that. You can call me soft out there. If you think I'm soft, that's fine. I can't mentally handle it.
Well,
so
at that peak, whenever I was like, oh shit, when I realized something was, something had happened, And I would like get on there and it had like, it'd say, I can't remember what the max is it shows, but it's like 20 plus or something, in notifications. You're like, oh shit. Like, what is happening? You just go on there and it's just like, I'd say it was like 80-20. 20 was like kind of just talking about Rich Strike and the kind of what happened, how he, was a fluke or was drugged. They think he was drugged or whatever. And then the other 80 was just unbearable, just, at us, and it was like, oh shit. Like, and I'm the same way. Like, I wrote it and I was like, what does it say? Like, did I miss something? And I was so confused on why people were so upset. And it just was, baffling. It's still baffling to me. It will forever be baffling. But again, I don't really care. It did bother me that people made that assumption. I shouldn't let it do that. I'm like you. I do have to be on it just because I'm posting shit on there for social media or account. But yeah, I mean, it's a wonder why. It's like you and I were texting. It's like I don't even want to be in this game. Like when it's like this. Like this is not like this is like people have always tried to attack us as soon as we do anything. As soon as we say anything that's not out of the norm, it's like, oh shit, like here comes the whole, it's like, oh, we'll jump on them now, and it happens all the time. This one was unexpected, but I actually kind of think it's funny whenever I get like the reactions of some of these industry guys or whatever, because I just think, wow, this all you had like my tweet was like what you had to talk about today. That's funny, but
it is, yeah, and.
Right.
Trust me. I mean, I've gotten screenshots of stuff you've posted just to try to stir people up, and I might get one and go, oh, that'll be interesting how that goes over. This one, it never was even a thought in my. Like when Dennis texted me that night, I was like, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I don't think this is anything to get bent out of shape about. It just never was in my mind. Yeah, and I don't know, but I think you're right. And I think you hit on something. The main reason, and before I say this, there are great people in the game, whether they're working in the game or they follow the game. Great, great people. There are people that aren't, and that's everywhere. But it just seems like on that space specifically, the people that aren't so great just kind of dominate it. And the people that are great, their voice kind of gets overshadowed. And you're right. I mean, you have to separate yourself from that, because you do kind of get like, well, why am I even really doing this? Why do I really want to do this? Maybe,
Yeah.
And so that's why,
because you don't even want to have an opinion, because you're just like whatever you're like, if I say anything, which is supposed to be how it is, like your freedom to, the freedom to say, and that's kind of how we've built what we have. And then it's like, you're like, well, shit, if I say that. And there's been times where I have texted you and I'm like, hey, this is what I want to tweet out. And you're like, dude, don't do it. Because you're just like, it's just going to be a nightmare, and you're right. And it's like, that's very sad that it's like, you feel like you can't, you're controlled by that. And yeah. And it's, and social media in general is a very sad place these days, because luckily, obviously it does bother you, both you and I, but like, we're able to take it. But there's a lot of people, there's so much hate out there. People will hate so easily behind their keyboards and behind their phones. And like you said, in person, they wouldn't say a damn word to you.
Yeah.
And so it's just, hate is so easy to transpire over the internet. And then when it's proven wrong, or it turns out to not be a big deal or whatever, there's no way getting that back. It's still happened. You know what I mean? And it's like, just don't say anything at all. But that's not the way social media works these days. Yeah, Mackie, you're right. It's very toxic. It's very scary, honestly, because there's a lot of people out there that are far worse in completely different circumstances, and people that obviously can't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, what happens to us, it's mild compared to some, and it at the end of the day, like, I think what you're trying to say is like, you have to be on it, but we're not like social media influencers where you have to be on it to make a living. Like you could just get on there, post whatever you need to, and never look at it. And our business isn't going to suffer. And let's be thankful for that, because if it was the other way around, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Like I think of influencers and different genres, and it's just like, how many people do you watch maybe on YouTube, the shorts or whatever, and it's like it's hilarious. But then like if you click on some comments, it's like there's 37 million comments about how this guy's this or he's this or whatever. It's like they got to see that every day. That's got to be tough, man. That's a tough thing.
Yeah, it's you know, especially when we get Derby season and Breeders' Cup, and you're building up, and then you're like, obviously we're posting a lot of hot topic, whether about a horse or who we like or whatever, and the comments are just, they're brutal. I mean, there's always, I mean, I would say negative comments. There's always some normal ones, but boy, there are vast majority of any comments out of the comment section are negative about how dumb you are. Made that. How could you be, just not know this or not know that? And it's just like, hey, it's just an opinion. It's like, it's fine. Like, you can disagree. I get it. It's like, you may not win, but just people I don't know. It's a very odd thing for me to understand. I don't know that I've ever commented on a post or like a video or something.
No. It's interesting. It is interesting. I'm glad. I don't know. I'm glad that we don't have to be on it just too much. And I just I scratch my head. I just scratch my head at what happened. And like I said, sometimes you kind of know something might be coming. This was just one I just never ever would have dreamed that 4 days later I'm still answering questions about it from people. I can't believe it, but there we were.
It's a good thing that I didn't know about it until the next day, because that night I was a little intoxicated.
Right.
And it could have been like Thursday night, and it could have been bad for sure. It would not have gone well.
I almost picked up the phone and text you, and then I thought, that's not. He doesn't care about this, and neither do I. So it doesn't matter. That's the thing. That's the thing I had to learn. Like, in the grand scheme of things, listen, Twitter can be fun, right? I mean, I can't say that it was all bad, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not real life. Like, it's kind of a make-believe land, and what happens there doesn't really happen outside of there. So
it's weird too. And I know we've talked about this before. It used to be fun.
Yes.
It used to be like a place where you like, hey, you know what? Not a lot of people love horse racing like we do, but on Twitter, we're all like, that's where everyone coincides together, and we love it and we talk about it. And then it just got more and more negative and more hate, and then you're just, before you know it, it's still got a big following for horse racing, but it just became everything was negative, and I don't really know when that happened or why it happened, but it was weird, because it used, like you said, it used to be fun.
Yeah. Used to, you would get like, oh, you're dumb for liking that horse kind of stuff back and forth, but for people, and that, that's kind of horse racing. And that's
how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. Like, if we're sitting around a table with 4 or 5 people that like horse racing, say, Shoddy and Dennis, you and I and Kelby and a couple of people, we may say that to each other 4 or 5 times. Like, that's you're playing against each other. So that's fun. But like, just when it got so personal, the personal attacks and stuff, it's just like, this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
And like, our favorite guy, Kelly Von Hemel, been in this game forever. His family's been in the game forever. And he's like, the one thing that when I get on Twitter that I don't see, it's like, horse racing at its core is a bunch of friends having fun, betting the races. He's like, that's racing. He's like, it just feels like a bunch of just hate back and forth. It's just like, that's not what that is. That's not like that's not the reality of what's going on. So I don't know.
Yeah. Listen, it's never going to be what we wished it was, and honestly, it just confirmed that. And again, that's why I didn't see it till the next day, because that's what I do. I will post a social media post on whatever, and then I'll open it up the next day and do it again, not because I don't want to interact with people. It's just because I don't want to see the hate, and I don't. It's like, I'm posting it. It needs to be out there. People might click it, come to the website, whatever. Past that, I don't. And again, I apologize to people that do comment on there, like genuinely wanting something or are interested or a nice comment or whatever. But you don't always see them, because it's like, it's mixed in with a bunch of other stuff that I just try to block out and not look at. So I'll look at the comments. I'll basically click the notifications button so that way they empty out, or the notification doesn't, because I hate notification bubbles. And I'll click that, and then I just don't even look at them, and then I get on with my day, because I'm like, I'm not going to read those. So, but that day, I still haven't. I mean, there was, maybe like 1,000 comments, so I didn't even look at all of them. But all right, let's get to the show. Let's get to racing. Let's get what we do best, and that is give picks. So we're going to give, and we don't give insight on Rich Strike best. We've learned that too over the last week. But we're going to get picks for the Gun Runner Stakes and the Remington Springboard Mile on the road to the Kentucky Derby. Then give some rapid fire picks for this weekend's biggest stakes races at Fairgrounds, Gulfstream, and Oaklawn Park. Let's go. All right. As we mentioned, this is the last show prior to Christmas. So while we're on the show and while we're going over picks, everyone, if you have one, just give me what's your what's the top item on your wish list? What's everybody wanting for Christmas? What if you got one item? What would it be? You have one, Halterman?
Yeah, I already got it though.
What's that?
Well, my family on my mom's side, we had to have Christmas early this year because I have a niece that's about to have a baby. So we couldn't risk waiting because anyway, we just couldn't risk it. So we did it early. So I got a Jack Eichel Vegas Golden Knights jersey. That's what I really wanted. I got it. So
man, you know what? You're very predictable and very low maintenance,
Yes. My mom's comment was, "That's what you want?" I was like, "Yeah, that's really what I want." She's like, "Are you just showing me this to get me out of your hair?" I was like, "No, Mom. Like, if you get me that, you don't have to give me anything else. I really want that."
It's like you either get it for me or I'm buying it for myself. So there's your option.
See, we have this discussion all the time. I was like, I don't, and you've hit the age too. It's like, I don't really, if I want it, I kind of just get it when I see it. You know what I mean? And it's like, just trust me on this one, Yeah. So anyway,
I know. I know I have a really hard time with even asking, like when people especially too, like I have kids, and generally like with my family, it's like, well, they're gonna get my kid stuff, not me, which is fine. But I'm just because like if I want something, I just buy it. Like I didn't know I wanted a truck, and then one day I was like, you know what, I'll go look at trucks, and I bought a truck. It's like if I want something, I'll just buy. I don't wait. I'm like, well, I don't know if we could get that. And another thing too, I'm single, so it's like I'm not like I have someone buying stuff for me. So I'm just, if I want it, I'll just go buy it. It's easier that way.
Yeah,
but
exactly. That's exactly right. You don't have any rules. You don't play by any rules.
Do whatever the hell I want, man.
That's right.
I asked
the boys. Nobody.
I asked the boys what they're getting me for Christmas, and I got no answer. So,
well, you got to buy your own.
Can't count on those assholes, So,
they're at least probably 12 years away from that, getting you something. I'd say.
Yeah, with my money too.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Shoddy wants a meat smoker.
Don't we all?
Oh yeah, smoke that meat. I would like a let's see. So one thing that is on my list is a 3D printer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big item that may or may not be. Well, I'm fingers crossed that Santa brings it. And another thing is a SGA downtown PSA 10. That's what I would like. Card.
Wow.
It's about a $4,000 card. So
wow.
I thought maybe you could get that for me for Christmas.
No.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm not going to.
Also, what I really want is your friendship. So that's just...
okay. Well, you'll have to work for after last week. You'll have to work for that, sir.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, that's I probably put our friendship in a hole after that week. So,
no, I can confirm you did not.
You're like, what did that fucker really say? He edited what he sent me. That he probably said something stupid and he talked about the horse dying or something. And
well, I will say this: for a split second, I thought, well, what he sent me couldn't have been it, if that's what people were thinking. Even though I knew you wouldn't. Like, why would you do that?
Shotty says she's surprised I didn't want Mahomes to heal in less than 9 months. So yeah, that's true. I do think he'll be ready for week 1 just because that's kind of like in his DNA. And by the way, like, have you ever seen a guy tear his ACL and have surgery less than 24 hours? Like, they just went right to it.
Yeah.
And when they did that, you're like, all right, they're gonna go. He's already looking at week 1 next year. But yeah, it's been a year for the Chiefs, for sure. That was like the ice. And honestly, I've been told a lot of people, I'm like, he's gonna get hurt, and it's like almost like with Brady. I mean, and oddly enough, Brady got hurt on his 9th year in the league as well, and so that's same as Mahomes. But you can almost, it's just gonna happen. You play long enough, you take enough hits, it's gonna happen. It's the NFL, and so much of his running and all the things he does and taking hits, I'm like, oh, it's gonna happen. I didn't know if it's gonna be ACL, whatever, but some kind of major injury, because he's been able to avoid major injury his whole career, other than when his kneecap was on the side of his leg for a couple weeks. But so when that happened, you're kind of like, all right, well, that just happened. It was the worst too. So we were at a birthday party, like a kid's birthday party at like an indoor simulator, like golf simulator, and the game was on. Like I made like the game was. I was like, I gotta get out of the house, so we went, and it's watching it, and it's like, it's like a crowd, and people are not really watching, and it happened, and you're like, he's down. You're like, motherfucker, and you're like, I need to process this. I need to handle it, but yet I'm in a crowd of people and shit's going on, and I'm just like, literally, Mahomes, my Lord and Savior here, just ruptured his ACL on TV, and I'm supposed to be like chilling with Jack's parents over here, and who. It was just a very odd situation. It took me a good 24 hours to kind of process that.
Two quick things, and we'll get going. Number one, if you're going to tear your ACL, this is the year to do it. Like, imagine if it's a year where they could actually make a run.
Totally.
So,
yeah.
Number two, I was talking to Manilow about this. Either Mahomes or the play calling or both, they need to think about something. Let's have some plays where we just drop back and throw the ball. Every play this year, he's running like 6 circles and then throwing behind his back. Drop back, throw the football. Let's reinvent that next year. That is step 1 to solve it, because Mandel's right. He's like, I haven't done the analytics. He goes, I bet you can't name 5 times in a game where he just steps back, makes a read. It's not there. Make another read, throw it. He said he's running all over the field every play. I was like, he's right. He is. Yep.
Yeah, and honestly, I hope that this is the wake-up call to the organization to be like, listen, we can't continue to put it all on his back, because we've seen what he can do, and obviously he can do it. Last year's team, I think, my opinion, was worse than this year's team. They got lucky, right, on winning those one score games like they did last year. Got to the Super Bowl. I thought from a talent perspective, the team was better this year. Obviously, luck wasn't on their side, but point is, they looked worse. Yep. And it was, a whole, slew of things. But hopefully him being out will force the organization to be like, all right, let's find the players. Let's find the right coach as an offensive coordinator to call plays that are, like you said, are run, pass, not scramble for your life. I mean, it's nice to be able to do that, but when it's like that's what you're depending on, it's just a recipe for disaster. And obviously, it's there. So we'll see. This next couple of months will be interesting on how they handle the draft, how they handle the offseason. If there's going to be a big splash. Kelsey's probably gone. It's going to be a whole new thing. So.
Yeah, they're going to have to rebuild a little bit for sure.
All right, let's get to the actual podcast now of the show, and we're going to go to the Gun Runner Stakes. That's right, Fairgrounds Race 11 on Saturday. The Gun Runner Stakes, 100K, 1/16 miles for 2-year-olds. Kentucky Derby prep race, 10-5-3-2-1 for your top 5 finishers. You can see it here on the screen. A field of 8 led by. I mean, really, you got some decent choices here, led by the 3 Liberty National, but you got several in here at 9-2. You got a 5-1. It's really, other than the 4 at 10-1, they're all pretty close in odds, and it's for good reason. It kind of felt like that race handicapping it.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is kind of crazy. The favorite on the morning line is 7-2, and then the longest shot on the board is 10-1, and that just kind of shows you a field of 8. They're pretty tightly bunched. You don't see that all that often. I don't know how realistic that line will be, but I also don't think it's a horrible line either. I think it'll be fairly close. I really feel like there's 1, 2, maybe 3 horses that are going to come out of this, and we're going to say, you know what, they're not too bad, and maybe they're going to take some steps towards kind of being players all the way through this Derby chase here. On top, I went number 1 Mesquite for Cherie DeVoe. Jose Ortiz gets aboard. I say gets aboard. He's been aboard this horse the last 2 efforts, the only 2 efforts, but he rode Chip Honcho last time out, and he's going to stay aboard Mesquite. I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was telling. So that was the first thing you saw kind of when you're looking at this, at least what I saw. And then went back and watched the maiden special weight win for this horse. Really good effort. Closed from the clouds, just like the first race that he lost. But, I think eventually we need to see a little more early speed out of this horse. But the turn of foot is there. Even the maiden this horse lost, ran pretty decent down the stretch. And that was going 1 turn, and then he stretched out to a mile 16th. So I went number 1 Mesquite on top. I'm curious to hear what you did.
Oh man, I'll be honest. Not only did I want to pick the one, I had the one written down and everything, and then I changed it to the 3 Liberty National. I do think it's between those 2. I do think that I was a little concerned with how far back the one has been, but drawn on the inside, I thought maybe the horse, will be a little bit more forwardly placed, not a huge field. So the one has a huge kick late. The long stretch run at Fairgrounds should help. I also think it will help the 3 Liberty National. Again, like I said, the horse I picked on debut, ran 7 furlongs. Didn't run particularly great, was a non-factor of that race. He did get beat by Chip Honcho that day, but then came back at Churchill Downs the next race running mile 16th. That first race was 7 furlongs, and the horse looked like a different horse, and one going away and got a nice number for it. And, third start for McPeak is usually pretty good, and it kind of feels like he's got the horse right now at where he wants him as far as in this kind of race, but it's hard to trust sometimes at those short prices. Not usually real keen on playing McPeak at shorter prices, but I do think it's a competitive enough field that he will be a playable price. But I really am between the 1 and the 3 here. I couldn't decide. I think I'll play both of them in my multis. But did you like what do you think of Chip Honcho? Because that was a horse that I almost considered as well, and from a pace standpoint, I just was nervous that there was too much pace in the race.
Yeah, I think this is the horse that's going to get out in front. I think I thought that Ortiz not being aboard here was just weird. I thought that was very strange, and so that was kind of a hang up for me. But look, I thought the last race was just fine. That was going to 1 turn mile there at Churchill Downs. The horse is bred okay. I think it'll stretch out to a mile 16th this fine. I don't know. I thought it was weird. He wasn't aboard Chip Honcho in here after he rode that horse to victory last time out. And look, he rides for Asmussen a lot. So that was the surprising thing for me, why I didn't put him on top. But yeah, I think it's 1, 2, 3. I think those are the 3 main contenders. The 3 and the 1 look a lot alike. That they didn't run great on debut, but when they stretch out, they ran a lot better. I do like your 3 isn't that far behind like the 1 is, right? Still coming from way out of it. So I thought those were the top 3. I think past that, I do think there are some interesting horses, but I thought those were the 3 to beat.
Well, what's interesting is here we are with a field of 8. We each pick a horse. You give me the top 3, and 3 horses in the race are trained by Brad Cox, who obviously is very good at training and especially knows how to win at Fairgrounds. And didn't include any of those. So tell me what you think about the Brad Cox horses. I will say the one that's most interesting to me was the 8 at 6-1, but the debut was on the turf and not good. Came back and looked very good on a mile 16th. Again, that was in a maiden 100,000, but so it's a big step up here. But I do think out of any of those, that's the one. Luis Saez aboard from Irad Ortiz. To me, that's where I would go. Drawing outside, I don't know. I just couldn't quite figure that one out.
It is really interesting. He has 3 horses, and they're 6-1, 8-1, and 10-1. And I mean, in my opinion, if they're trained by somebody else, you could probably make them like 8, 10, and 12, right? I think when you see Brad Cox at Fairgrounds specifically, you kind of lean towards we better make them a little bit shorter than what the form says a lot of times. I'm with you. The 8 is the one I'm interested in, Mr. Punch. He's kind of it's a mixed signal type of thing. They debuted him at Kentucky Downs, which kind of told me they thought he could run a little bit, and he didn't run a step. And then they ran him in a maiden claimer. Now it's 100,000, so that's still pretty high level race. And it's like, did we give up on him? Not give up on him. Well, maybe he's not as good as we thought. Now you put him in here, and it's like, no, he was as good as we thought. He romped in that race. So I think he's interesting. Out of the Brad Cox horses, I think he's the one to play. I really don't know how deep I'll be able to go yet. I haven't figured out the multis, but if you can go 4 deep, I do think Mr. Punch is one to use.
Yeah, honestly, I'm almost using him over Chip Honcho, I think.
Really?
The 8. Just from a I don't know, the value standpoint from that horse. Because I like the 1 and 3 quite a bit more than I like the 2. And I think and the interest, and like I guess it depends on the price, honestly. Chip Honcho has been very good and has done very little wrong. I'm slightly concerned about going a little bit longer. I don't know. I can't. I think the 8 has more appeal as far as a value perspective. I guess is the easiest way to say that.
If the 8 never runs on that turf race and you just got the one race, you definitely are like, okay, let's just forget about it. So that's kind of what I did. I forgot about the turf race because it's just so irrelevant after what the horse did second time out. So
like say that race didn't exist, and then even say if you want to, like, because the race was still very impressive regardless of the kind of race it was. It'd say it was a main special weight and at a mile 16th, and he did what the form says, and that was his first race, and this is the next race. You'd be like, he might be the favorite,
Well, his number in that maiden claimer is good enough to win a lot of maiden special weights. Yeah. So you're right. You win a maiden special weight, let's say by a length, because it lets, it'd be tougher. It would have been a tougher race for sure. But, just trying to make kind of that comparison. Let's say he wins a maiden special weight by a length. It's Brad Cox. It's Luis Saez. Didn't he get like an 80?
Get an 80 buyer, yeah.
Yeah. So, he's like, I don't know what's that make him, about second or third in the race. So as far as buyers go, so you do look at it and go, well, I have to use him, right? So I think the more we've talked, you're talking me into putting him on a ticket.
Yeah, I mean, the top buyer of the race is honestly the 5. Had an 85 buyer last out.
Right.
Now that was that was with Mike Maker, and that's a horse that hasn't, he's been running at MVR and TDN Thistledown. So it's like, all right. So those numbers are strong, but we'll see what that horse does. The other ones are like 81s, 80, 82s. So, Mr. Punch at 80 is right there in the mix with the rest of those horses for sure. I guess that's a good final question. The 5 have any interest out of, it is Mike Maker, and we know if there's any guy that can make a horse that's been running those tracks run well, it's him. But any interest here?
So yeah, it's a good thing to finish here and then lead into the next race in some ways, because he's got 2 horses running, one here at the Gun Runner, one coming up at the Springboard we're going to talk about next. They're both by Yalpan out of Uncle Mo mares. How interesting is that? One's an Ohio bred, one's a New York bred. We'll talk about that one, Arctic Beast, in a second. Yeah. I don't like Crown the Buckeye as much as I like Arctic Beast, so we'll talk about it in a second.
Same.
Part of the problem is I watch Mahoning Valley. I watch Thistledowns. I watched this horse live when he won. I don't know how that track's going to equate to this type of race. That's my worry. I know that buyer was good, but the last race specifically, they were going a mile and a 16th. So 2-year-old Ohio breds going a mile and a 16th in October.
Yeah.
There's not many, if any, that really want to go that far, except for this guy. This guy did. I mean, what he's done is good. I mean, he's been very good. I'm very skeptical about him against open company in a Kentucky Derby prep race now.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's almost impossible to figure out what he's going to do or what he can do. But
yeah,
I mean, it wasn't like he ran a mile 16th in 1:45. That's not exactly lightning fast, So it's the number came back, but what do you do with that moving forward? I think it's very tough. I think you look at some of these other horses now, again, different tracks. It's impossible to compare, but much faster times in the mile 16th. So I mean, he's interesting. You must play him. I think that the waters are going to be a little too deep for the 5 here. Yeah. So I went past them. So you're going with the 1 Mesquite. I'm on the 3 Liberty National to win the Gun Runner. Interesting race. We'll see what those horses do and also what that means moving forward for the Derby Trail. All right, let's go to, as you mentioned earlier, 10:26 Central Time on Saturday night. Race 12, the Remington Springboard Mile Stakes, $300K though, 1 mile for 2-year-olds. And again, Derby points on the line, 10-5, 3-2-1 for your top 5 finishers. And we got a large field here of 12 showing up for this late night event. Spice Runner, who hasn't ran well lately, but does have that Iroquois win under his belt, your 3-2-1 favorite for Steve Asmussen. What do you think of this horse and this race?
Yeah, Spice Runner is definitely kind of the class of the field, been running against, tougher horses, just not running very well the last couple of races. And I'm just I wasn't a huge fan of the Iroquois at all. I mean, you could go back to when that happened. I thought, I was like, hey, give him credit, but that was not a great race. So I'm not in on Spice Runner here in this one. We talked about Maker, and now let's talk about Maker here with the number 1 Arctic Beast. I actually really like this horse in the spot. 3 races, all wins against New York bred company. The last 2 were at Finger Lakes, and he won like a good horse should at Finger Lakes. Broke the maiden at Saratoga. That's kind of that, bonus chip in a way. Even though that was a New York bred race, that's really tough to win up there. So that's kind of that was good, and did it on debut. Very impressive. Held on late, got the job done. I think he's the lone speed in the race. I think he's going to get out in front. I am a little worried about how far he can go. Can he go a mile? He's only been 6 furlongs. We mentioned he's by Yalpon out of Uncle Mo Mare, so you kind of got something on the bottom side. Yalpon was a sprinter, but when you look at Yalpon's breeding, he was actually bred to go longer than he ran. So maybe his offspring will be able to go a little bit further than he did. That's kind of my thought on it. But I'm going to try to go with number 1 Arctic Beast, try to get it towards the front and finish the job late.
Yeah, that's who I went with here. I just honestly, I would have probably been off this horse because of the New York bred and running all 3 state bred races. If it wasn't for, and it's certainly because of Finger Lakes, if it wasn't for that maiden special weight win at Saratoga. And I know as New York breds, but beat a horse that came back to win out of that race. And like you said, it's not easy, even for the New York breds, to win there. And really kind of tells you what a trainer thinks about a horse when they debut their horses at Saratoga. Obviously they think a lot of the horse, and this horse was purchased for nearly $300,000. So yeah, and then of course has just dusted him 2 races in a row, and again going 6 furlongs max. I still think the mile will be okay. Drew off in every one of those races, so it's wasn't like needed the wire. And yeah, drawing the rail, a lot of pace. I don't think Santana's going to get weird with this. I think he's just go to the lead and see what happens and see if the horse can make it. And the other aspect of this race for me, I don't like a whole lot in here. I like way more out of the Gun Runner. Like, I think there's some interesting players in the Gun Runner. This one, they're not. They leave a little bit. There's to be desired. The 2 I liked a decent amount. I almost played the 2 as that second place finish at the mile distance last time out at Churchill Downs. Only 1 win in 3 starts. Hasn't really been that impressive other than that debut or the maiden special weight win. But, so big purchase horse, seems like was built to run in a kind of, or to be a solid racehorse, but I don't know that this is the race for him.
Yeah, I have the 2 Time for Music in second. So I'm with you on that one. I liked what I saw. I'm also 100% with you. I'm a huge fan of this race, as over the years, obviously, but this is not a good running of the race. I don't think it's very good. So, I do think the 2 has a shot. Go ahead.
Don't you think it's interesting that I thought it was like, all right, I know it's just the Remington, just the Springboard Mile. We love it, but
Yeah,
whatever. But it's a $300,000 race. Like, they have a nice purse for it. And the best horse, no offense to anyone in here, the best horse that you could get, and it's not like it's crazy for Asmussen to have a horse in the race because he runs here all the time, is Spice Runner. Like, I don't know. Like, I was surprised that there wasn't at least 1 or 2 other kind of shippers from California or wherever that could have taken a shot here. And so that, I don't know, like, why do you think that they couldn't get anyone to come run in this race? Is it just because it's Remington Park?
Yeah, I don't really know because they haven't had that problem before. You had Coal Battle last year, and Moquette's horse was pretty good. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I'm sorry. You had Senor Buscador here. You had Will Take Charge ran second here one year. To Texas Bling. You've had good horses. There are years where it's weaker for sure. I can't remember the big gray horse I bet on, one from the outside post one year came in here.
That Gray Vitos? Was that
Yeah,
name?
Gray Vitos, man. And he was awesome at the time when he came in here. Now, he didn't pan out, but at the time that felt like a big time race.
Yeah.
That was Adam Kitchem, wasn't it? Or what? Kitchenham? What was his name?
It was that horse. Because remember, it was like the horse that was like the barn fire and
was
saved or whatever. And it was a really cool story. Yeah, and it was really good. Like, it was a very visually impressive race.
Remember, he was all the way to the outside and he just dominated him.
Speed King was the horse that you mentioned.
Who's that?
Speed King. You said that was the Moquette horse from last year.
Yeah, he wasn't too bad, and like I say, he got caught late by Coal Battle. But yeah, there's been some good ones. I don't know. Maybe we look back after and we say, hey, that wasn't quite as bad as we thought, but I don't know. One horse I want to mention is I think an Okie bred's got a big shot this year. I really like the number 4 Royal American. I think this horse has a shot. Oklahoma bred, won the last 2 races, actually broke the maiden in a stakes race going 6 furlongs, won last time out, and the Don C. McNeil going 8 furlongs. CR Trout owns, trains, breeder. That's what he does with all these horses pretty much. CR Trout, and a fantastic Oklahoma trainer, one of the best to ever do it, in my opinion. He doesn't just throw horses in for the hell of it. He runs to win, and you can see it by his percentage. I think he's hitting at like 23 or 24%. It's because he spots horses really well. He's in the 40% range when it comes to spotting horses in stakes races. I really, really like CR Trout, as you can probably tell me talking. And I think this horse is decent. I don't know that I would pick Royal American in a little bit tougher running of the Springboard Mile, but in this running, I think he's got a shot.
Yeah, if this thing has any sort of kind of class, and it definitely could, like, where it's like, okay, none of these horses are very good, want to finish, he might be just kind of doing enough,
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's that good either, but he has that class or the track advantage over all of them. He's ran all 4 races at Remington, and he's won 2 and finished second the other 2, and again, stretchy now, but he did run in a mile last time out and looked good doing it. So I think at 12-1, like, honestly, I have very little interest in playing Spice Runner here, like none almost, because he's a short price, and I just don't think he's very good, and so I would be more interested in playing as on a win ticket, playing a horse like Royal American than I would Spice Runner, just because, like, at least Royal American, you're going to get paid for it, the opinion.
Yeah.
So, I'd be a little surprised if anything comes out of this. I guess if Spice Runner were to win, he does have all the class underneath him. They would continue to kind of go down that trail. Time for Music, obviously, or Arctic Beast. If Royal American wins, for instance, like, you're not exactly, super psyched about
No.
him on the Derby prospects. But I guess if like the one, Maker's not really known to be like the Derby trail kind of guy, but if he were to get that horse there, certainly you would see him in a few races after this.
Yeah, no, I agree that we're probably not going to be texting each other at 10:40 or 10:30 whenever this thing goes off Saturday saying, hey, I think we saw the Derby winner. Right? I don't think we are. So
yeah, it's a very festive. Yeah, exactly. Christopher says it's like, yeah, he's wrapping presents. He's got some eggnog going. He's got Christmas Vacation on one TV, and he's watching the race on his phone. It's very festive. So
yeah,
get it.
No, it always is kind of a unique card for sure.
By the way, you guys didn't do a very good job of telling me what was on the top of your list in the chat, but
nobody did.
No one. Literally, I saw a meat smoker. That's it.
Yeah.
Best Christmas movie. What's your go-to Christmas movie? In the comments or while we're doing it, what's your like? You know what? I'm feeling in the mood. I want to watch. Boom. What is it? I'm curious. What is yours?
Well, I think Christmas Vacation is certainly a go-to, and anybody that answers that, I can't argue. I think that is a very good one. However, mine is The Grinch. Mine will always be The Grinch. I love
the Jim Carrey version.
I will watch all three versions.
Okay.
I would rank that one third. I would rank the original second, and I would rank the newest animated one first.
The animated one that's the boys' favorite one too.
That animated one is really, really good. And then the original you can't beat. And I don't have anything against the Jim Carrey version. It's just like I grew up with the Grinch being animated and seeing it. I don't know. It just doesn't resonate with me as much. Yeah.
For me, it would definitely, like Christmas Vacation is like a staple. It was a staple in my home, like growing up, and like we'd watch it with my grandparents and crack it, laugh. I know every line, everything about that movie. So Christmas Vacation for me is definitely like a nostalgia. Honestly, like I love Home Alone. I love Home Alone is so good.
Yeah.
I just love it. Although I have so many plot holes in that movie, but I still love it. And actually, like the boys and I, so we try to watch. When you have kids, like obviously you're trying to watch as many as you can. And I think one that I hadn't seen in forever that still is pretty. It's corny as hell, but it's still a very good movie. Is the Santa Claus, like the Tim Allen Santa Claus, like that's a solid Christmas movie. So
classic. It's a classic. Yep. I agree. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it, but I don't dislike it. I
haven't watched it forever, and I watched it. I was like, you know what? It's pretty good. It's not bad. Like I'm not itching to watch it again. Another one that I really like to watch. Do you remember the movie Four Christmases?
Yep.
With Vince Vaughn. For whatever reason, that movie I love that movie. So
it's very funny. I do like it. It's probably not one I would have pulled, but it is a very good one. I do like that one. Yeah.
Jingle All the Way. That's that's a good one too.
Yeah.
There's
a
lot of options, and we've watched them all. So I know I'm in the minority as a parent. I'm not a fan of the Polar Express. I'm just not.
No, I'm not either.
So you can hate me.
What about those claymation that Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman?
It's iconic. I know, but I do not care to watch. I have no interest. Like, it's not like we got to watch Rudolph. It's not. Yeah. I forgot Elf deserves a mention. I love Elf. Elf is that made me think of it because of the when he talks to the snowman and the guy, he's like, as he's leaving the place, he's like, yeah. So I do love me some. I do love me Elf. That's pretty good too. But.
Yeah, it's that's a good one, no doubt about it. And I would like the claymation ones. If I see it on, or even if I see a picture of it, it brings back good memories. But as an adult, I don't want to watch it. But as a kid, I do remember loving it.
The original Grinch to me is what I gravitate way more to, as far as like as a kid Christmas, like the original Grinch. That's like old school cartoon. That's what I remember. So
love it.
But yeah, anyways, all right, we're on. Let us know in the comments I see some, and obviously in the chat or in the comments below when you guys watch this later. or if you're listening to the podcast version, what you guys are watching this time of the year. If any good Christmas movies I need to watch that I forgot about. Home Alone 2, by the way, is very, very. It's a very good sequel. But all right. I have got you and I both are going the number 1 Arctic Beast to win the Springboard Mile. Yeah, Home Alone 2. Although my plot, like the plot holes get bigger with Home Alone 2 because it's like the first one, they all like the booby traps and stuff. It's like, yeah, those would really hurt, but like the second one, like these would kill them. Like they would. He's literally murdering them with every trap, and yet they fall off a 3-story building and they just get up, and now next thing you know they're chasing them down in the park. And like, all right, guys, it's funny but impossible.
It's made for kids.
I know, right? I'm like, that's the thing. Like when Cohen watches it, he's like the same way. He's like, Dad, there's no way that would work. I know, but it's funny.
Cohen, there was simpler times back in the day, my friend.
Yeah. I actually, Shadi, we were watching it here the other day, and I paused it. I said, do you know who that is? And I'm like, no. And I said, that's Donald Trump. They're like, no, it's not. I was like, yeah, that's President Trump. They're like, no. And then we stopped and went back, and you can hear it. He says like whatever he tells him, asks him where something is, and he says something. And it's like you tell it's his voice, and like, oh, that is him. They couldn't believe, because to them it's like, why is the president in the movie? I'm like, well, he wasn't. Right. He was just like a business guy then, So
yeah, right.
Yeah, they did not believe, which even to me, it's like that's still very weird that he's in that movie. But
even though you know it, yeah.
No, yeah, that's
him being in the movie isn't weird.
No, it's just that
the fact that he became the president is weird.
Well, that's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, him being in movies and shows, that's
very normal.
Weird. Yeah, exactly.
All right, time for Rapid Fire, presented by Racing Dudes Premium. Head over to racingdudes.com. Check out our premium product selections. Of course, we have free win picks for every track running across the country every single day. But if you want more, if you want the exactas, trifectas, superfectas, pick 3s, pick 4s, whatever you're into playing, we have you covered on our premium picks. So head over to racingdudes.com to learn more, especially as the Derby season gets going here in the next several months. You can get premium subscriptions, monthly subscriptions, 3-month subscriptions, everything you need to get you that edge as we handicap these big races. All right, let's go back to Fairgrounds on the undercard of the Gun Runner, and that's race number 10, the Untappable 100K, 1 mile and 70 yards, 2-year-old fillies. Oaks prep race, 10-5, 3-2-1, top 5 finishers, field of 8. Lines up here. Hit Parade, Brad Cox, Elias Saez, 5-2 favorite. Is this where you went?
I did. The more I handicap this, the more I kind of like Hit Parade. So, yeah, I did go number 3, Hit Parade on top in this one. Horse just seems to be getting better, It ran on the turf on debut there at Horseshoe Indy. It didn't run all that great, but I thought the next 2 races were pretty good. I know one was a maiden claimer, but she looked good. And then, last time out, I don't think that's the toughest of fields, but it wasn't awful. And she was able to get the job done. So, yeah, I do like the number 3 Hit Parade here. I kind of like her running style. I think she'll kind of just stalk the pace and go get him. So, yeah, I'm going to go Brad Cox in this one.
Yeah, this is a horse that debuted on the turf, oddly enough, but was at a mile. And then since switching over to the dirt is 2 for 2 and has done so, maybe not visually like overly impressive, but has done it the right way, I felt like, in that last race. Like, I wasn't really sure how good the horse was. The horse wasn't even the favorite that last allowance race, and probably deservingly so because of that, the race it came out of. But it looked good doing it again, going to the mile. I don't know that this horse is a Brad Cox Kentucky Oaks winner or not, but the horse has done very little wrong as so far. And honestly, that 81 it's what he got, or what she got on that last race, is a massive standout. Comparable to the others in the race. I did think the 7 was interesting. Again, another horse that was on the turf to start and then kind of fired off a huge number in that first start at Fairgrounds, has the win over the track. So I do think the 7 is interesting as well. But I got the 3 Hit Parade for Brad Cox to win here at 5-2. Any interest in that 7?
Yes, I did. I kind of think this is a horse that it kind of reminds me of the freaking gosh, who were we? Oh, the Brad Cox horse that we talked about, Mr. Punch. This one reminds me of this horse a little bit as well because started on the turf and didn't do anything, and then ran great on the dirt. So it's like just take that turf race out, just focus on the dirt race. Well, that might be good enough to win here. So yes, I do like the 7.
All right, let's go to Gulfstream Park now. A couple of races to go over here. Race number 10, the Harlan's Holiday. Grade 3, 150K mile and 1/16th on 3-year-olds and up. This is not on the turf, sorry. Field of 7 here. This is an interesting one. I think it's there's options. Obviously, our boy Skippy Longstocking in here at 3-1. Not even your third or second choice. This is a third choice Poster, a horse that made some noise earlier in the year on the Derby Trail. Took some time off. Came back, looked really good at 2-1. And then Campania at 5-2. This is a very interesting horse. Stretching out, though, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed by the morning line because I did pick number 5 Poster. I thought we'd get a little bit better price than 2-1, but here we are. Flavian Pratt gets back aboard. Hasn't been aboard this horse since winning the Remington. And, since that Remington win last year, yeah, Sam F. Davis was okay. The Jeff Ruby Stakes, it was okay. Then a really nice win last time out. Now it was on the turf, and I know we're getting back to the dirt here, but look, I'm going to give him a shot. I like that Flavian gets aboard. I like the recent form. That was a really good race. So give me the number 5 Poster. I wish the price was a little bit better. That's the one thing that I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, anytime a horse, in my opinion, can come off of that, off that long layoff and kind of, I mean, put a career high buyer up on that debut, or not debut, but this return race off of that layoff since the Jeff Ruby Stakes. It was on the turf, so I mean I understand that. But listen, he was a turf horse going into the Remington and did that and won that with Pratt, who's aboard here. So I'm not necessarily concerned about, this is a turf horse. Now, is he better on turf? Maybe. He's undefeated on the turf. So I do think it's interesting that they even had this option, right, to run here. So obviously he thinks well enough to say, well, we're going to try it one more time or try it again back on the dirt. And, I think there's enough trust issues with the 7. The 7, if this is a race at 6 furlongs, you might be thinking a different tune, right? You'd be like, yeah, this horse is going to be very tough to beat. And I think definitely would be the pace horse of the race. I'm not totally convinced that this horse can get the distance. So that's why I went against the 7. And I think the 5 will run all day, especially here at this distance. So yeah, I'm with you. Give me the 5 Poster to win this one. All right. Very next race, the race 11, the Fort Lauderdale grade 3, 200K mile and 8 on the turf for 3-year-olds and up. You got a field of 10 in this one. You got Wolfie's Dynaghost at 2-1, and you've got Cugino at 5-2. Those are your top 2 betting options. Did you go either one of those, or do you go somewhere else?
Yeah, I hate that I picked the favorite again. Again, I didn't know the morning line odds yet until right before the show. I did go number 2, Wolfie's Dynaghost on top in this one. Couple things. He's running about as good as he's ever ran. So right now, I feel like he's been really consistent lately. Irad gets aboard, and I simply don't see a lot of speed in this race. I think he's lone speed in here. And maybe I have that wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing it the right way, but I just think he's going to get loose. And I think if he gets loose on the lead and on this turf course, I don't think they'll catch him. So I did go number 2, Wolfie's Dynaghost on top.
Yeah, I didn't really think there was any other major pace in the race, at least that it can handle that horse. I do think the horse that I'm going to pick to beat him, which is the other second choice, Cugino, will be forwardly placed enough to where he will get first run there on that horse. So I do think it's between those. Cugino gets Pratt back aboard. He's ridden this horse several times, including that last start in the Red Smith. 2 at this distance, 2 starts, 1 win, 1 second. Gulfstream Park, 3 starts, 1 win, 2 seconds. So it always runs well. This distance always runs well at this track. So I think he's going to be tough. I think he's going to sit a nice trip. I think it's just going to be very simple as a matter of, hey, can he get to the 2 Wolfie's Dynaghost? If he can, I think that's your most likely winner. So give me the 6 Cugino here to win this one.
I like that pick. He's a horse that kind of early in his career, he kind of just couldn't get the job done. He was close to winning some big ones, but here lately, 4 out of the last 5 starting to come around.
Yeah, I think and again, I probably won't be that simple, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to be Wolfie's Dynaghost, and the only horse that you feel like is maybe possibly good enough to do it is the 6.
Yeah, maybe the 8, Major Dude, maybe. I don't mind him.
Hard to believe that horse is still a thing, but he is.
I know.
All right, let's finish it up here at Oaklawn Park, race number 8, the Tinsel Stakes. Again, these are all on Saturday for everybody to know. 150K, mile and 8th for 3-year-olds and up. Field of 7, 9 to 5 on Willie's D, 8 to 5 on Rattle and Roll. This is, I don't know. Like, I'm interested what you think here because I don't know that I like either one of those, but let's see if you can convince me.
Yeah, I hate this race, to be honest with you. It's not the greatest. All right, try to convince somebody to bet Rattle and Roll as a favorite. This is one of my tougher jobs I'm ever going to have to do. I just think he's the class of the field. I don't think he ran all that bad in the Clark. The Fayette, he was second, only beating a length. I think that race wins this one. It's the 4th race off the layoff. We're back at Oaklawn here. McPeak usually has his horses ready to run early in this Oaklawn meet. He's got, not this one specifically, but he has others in the past that have really done well the first 2 or 3 weeks. Give me Rattle and Roll. I don't love it. I don't love Willie's D's that much. So I think if I would go against, if you're going to go against both of them, I wouldn't go against I wouldn't play the 4. I thought the 3 was kind of interesting at a price and maybe this 5 a little bit, but yeah, I went with Rattle and Roll.
Well, keep going, keep guessing horse numbers, and you might get the one I picked because
Okay.
I went with Shoddy actually. Money Supply one more time. Listen, don't love the horse, don't love the race. I hate the race actually, but not betting Rattle and Roll at a short price. I'm not betting Willie's D, and I fully, possible that one of those horses, will run great and win. But Money Supply is 8 to 1. This horse loves Oaklawn Park. This horse is very good at this distance. So, Jacobson and Torres here, and they, listen, the last couple starts haven't been great. Did finish second at Churchill Downs, going a mile last time out, but has ran races that were pretty good. And if this race does kind of have any sort of meltdown, I do think either the 7 or the 6 might come running. So listen, this horse hasn't won in April, since April. This horse has ran a lot since April.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
This will be race 9 since the last win. Yeah.
Yeah, this horse has ran 35 times, 10 starts. Yes, the same Money Supply that was formerly trained by Chad Brown as well. So it's this horse has made the rounds. Joe Sharp had the horse once. Now you've got David Jacobson. Give me the horse one more time. I'm going Money Supply, Shoddy. Shoddy, we're in this together. Don't love it, but that's the race.
He's an interesting horse, and he was kind of all the rage in that maiden special weight debut for Chad Brown way back in 2022, and just never progressed. Chad Brown finally had to drop the horse for, I think it was 30 or 35,000, and got claimed. And then Joe Sharp's had it forever, and now he finally dropped for a tag, and now Jacobson. So he's a tough horse, I'll say that. To have Sharp and Jacobson and running every 2 weeks, seemingly it's not been that much, but it's been a lot. I don't hate it. I just listen. You're right. It's not that good of a race. He can win. I'm not going to say anything else.
I mean, he other than he had a stretch there. I was just kind of looking at his past performances, like way down. Like he had a stretch there. He rattled off. He won like 5 of 6 starts. No, yeah. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of 7 starts with the first with Joe Sharp, and then just. That included the grade 3 mine shaft at Fairgrounds, and then kind of fell off a cliff. Has snuck in wins here and there. Always runs pretty consistent. Like, yeah, his numbers are like mid to high 80s to low 90s every time. Like every time. Like there's no like random 45 or something in there where he just didn't pick up his feet. Like he kind of runs his race. So he's kind of a a horse where it's like, it depends on the race, if it's pretty weak and you get the right, the right setup, maybe he can get the job done. So that's what we're going to try to do here.
He's 10 for 35 lifetime. That's pretty impressive. 19 for 35 hitting the board. 960,000. He's almost to $1 million. Of course, a win here would get him there. So good luck to him. That'd be cool.
There you go. Millionaire Money Supply coming up this weekend. There you go. Money Supply for me.
I wouldn't hate that. I like those horses that have to do it the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, 36 starts, right? 36 starts to get to $1 million. I mean, some horses do it in one start, but that's fine. Not him. He's a hard knocking horse.
Yeah.
That's another one of those. It's like, yeah, he's still around.
As long as he stays healthy, he's going to get there. So
6 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And that's the thing. Like, he's just ran them all in a couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
Like he's ran a lot. Like 2024 to 2025, he ran like 20 times,
Yeah. It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Once a month.
Just like they used to.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's all the time we have. Check us out over at racingdudes.com for our free picks and our premium selections over at racingdudes.com. Click that products page to learn more. We're on Twitter at racing_dudes, Instagram, Facebook. If you want entertainment, just go to Twitter, follow us there. That'd be great. You can find all episodes of Blinkers Off by visiting our podcast page, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you like to listen to shows. We are there. Go to YouTube. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification button so you can learn more, watch the videos, and interact with us live when we do Blinkers Off, YouTube at Sports on was it yesterday you guys were on?
Yes.
And the Magic Mike show coming up tomorrow. And yeah, like you mentioned, you mentioned in the opening, OU, big game for you tomorrow. Where are you going to watch it? What's the plans?
I will be watching it from the stands. And I think I am very, very interested to see what's going to happen. I kind of think we're going to win. I did pick us to win this one. I think being at home is going to help. I think, we beat them already once. We had a lot of turnovers go our way that time. Hopefully we can go our way again. It's exciting. I love that for the first time in a while, we're going to win or lose. We're going to head into an off season. Eventually we will lose. We're going to head into an off season, not wanting to fire a coach and maybe trying to build on something. So it's been a good year. Could be an even better year if they win tomorrow.
How many games are there tomorrow?
Just one tomorrow, which is great.
Okay.
And then 3 on Saturday.
Okay. 3 Saturday.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. It's going to be fun. This is a 12-team playoff. That's going to be, I know there's kind of a mixture of what people like it or not, but I think it's going to be, it's going to be entertaining. I know that's what we wanted.
Yep.
Right.
No, I think there's positives and negatives towards the playoff. I would say one big positive, OU came back home out of a road trip, beating Tennessee and Alabama. They were 8-2. We had Missouri and LSU at home back-to-back weeks, and we knew going into those games if we won them, we were going to a playoff. Where in the old format, you're trying to get to 10 wins, and that's all great, but you're not going anywhere. Those games are less meaningful for sure, and instead they were super meaningful, and the stadium was rocking, and they were 2 really good memories we'll have. So that's the positive side of it. I mean, and the negative is you do have teams in there that really don't have a chance. So that's more of the system's broken than the playoff is not needed, right? So we got to fix the system of how you get the teams in, but it's a huge game. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is the biggest game in Norman probably since 2008. We were kind of thinking back. So it's a big one.
So what are your thoughts on, because I don't think I've asked you this, not this year anyways, what are your thoughts on punishing or not punishing a team for like a blowout loss in a conference championship game?
Probably shouldn't punish them, honestly. And I know Alabama's a hot topic.
Right.
But you made it to the game, and you shouldn't be penalized for making it to the game, right? Like, just for example, Alabama was 10-2, Oklahoma was 10-2, and Alabama shouldn't be punished playing the extra game. If OU was in that game, they may have lost 28-7 to Georgia too.
Right.
I happen to think Georgia's going to win the whole thing. So I get though why people would think the opposite because it is a data point. It is the last data point, and it's like, oh, we don't want that team in after they lost like that. So I get both takes, but to me, I don't think you should penalize somebody for being in their championship game.
I agree. Yeah, because like it's a prime example, OU, like you said, not in the game. They didn't make the game.
Yeah,
but they're in, right? And
Yep.
it's like, so you get punished for playing. It's like, well, I think if you set that precedent, like then teams would be like, well, we're not going to play in it then.
Why even play? Exactly.
Yeah. If the conference championship means nothing or only could mean hurting us, because Georgia's in regardless, right? If they lost that game.
Yep.
So yeah, it's like, why do we play? And I think that is even like, especially for those teams that, that have like are very much on the cusp. It's like, well, shit, we've probably done enough because we're in it, but if we lose, like let's not even try it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah, and like you said, Alabama's in it, and there were 3 teams that didn't make it that were definitely didn't make the SEC championship game, I should say, that were definitely going to make the playoff. And it's like, well, how can these 3 teams who wasn't even in the championship of that conference, how can they be in and Alabama not?
Right.
So that's the conference championship games they're losing their luster pretty fast. I would say that, but yeah, listen, college football is very, very broken. The on-field part of it is great, but everything else, literally everything else, is very broken. So it's going to really what needs to happen is the NFL needs to take over college football, and set it up the right way. And then it would be great.
Well, maybe that will happen, honestly, because it's already starting to shift to be like NFL, meaning with keep players getting paid and players changing teams and, getting incentives to play somewhere else or paid essentially. Yeah. So, I mean, might as well combine them basically and make it into one big, NFLU or whatever you want to call it. And, but yeah, I agree. It does seem weird that the conference championships and, some conferences, it's like there's only the major conferences now. And it's like, well, some of them don't even have a conference championship maybe. And it's like, it's just not, it's almost like it's like horse racing where you have a bunch of different conferences doing it their own ways and then trying to merge it into one playoff. Yeah. And it's like, it really doesn't work that well together. So
no, it doesn't. And imagine like if the NFL did it like this and it's like, okay, the Chargers and the Broncos, you were the top 2 finishers in this conference, so now you must play a conference championship game before we get to the playoffs. It's like, well, why would we want to do that? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, that we have to play an extra game. And oh, by the way, if you lose, all of a sudden your seeding could go down, and it's just like, that doesn't make any sense. So
not to mention you could get hurt, your star quarterback could get hurt, whatever. And so you're like, well, what? Like, there's really little incentive for us to go out and win. So
yeah, absolutely. So it doesn't make any sense. And look, I'm all for the players getting paid, and I'm all for the players having some freedoms as far as being able to change schools. But I need structure. I need it to be within a structure. And I'm not even saying a cap, just some structured way to be like kind of level the playing field as far as the money situation. And then, maybe out of college or out of high school, you got to sign a little bit longer term of a contract. You can't just jump 5 times. Maybe you can only jump 2 or 3 times, So there's got to be some guidelines where the NCAA, their kind of approach was, we never wanted this to happen. So now that it's happened, just do whatever you want. We're turning our back to this crap. Like,
I know, it's like, kind of like they went from like, you can't even like look at a booster without getting suspended for a year to,
right.
You know what? Just do what the hell you want.
Yeah. We didn't want it. And we're going to just pout about it is how in a child's explanation, how I would describe the NCAA. Like they're worthless. They're not proactive at all. They should have known this was coming and had this set up, and they didn't. And now we have a great product when the game is being played and everything's just kind of chaos outside of it. Because here's the deal. OU had a great season, and not just OU, all these teams, they're all going to lose like 20 to 30 players like every year. And you're going to look around and go, where is that guy that I watched play all year? Oh, he's at Minnesota now. Like, why? He's like, well, Minnesota, they gave him $3 million. It's like, whoa. You know what I mean? It's just like, you can't. You can't do that. Like, what if, take it from the Chiefs standpoint, there were no contracts. It was just 1 year. And let's pretend like the Chiefs were like in the middle, and Mahomes has this great year, and then all of a sudden he's playing somewhere where they have more revenue or they have more NIL money. And you're like, but I loved that guy. Well,
yeah,
you couldn't pay him. And if you did pay him, you couldn't play anybody else on the team hardly. That's what's going on at a lot of places.
Yeah. So it's like as soon as you're excited about some young prospect that was under the radar maybe or whatever, and you're like, well, he'll be some other school take him next year.
Right.
And then you're like, so what's the point of getting excited about him?
And when you're a fan of a major team like Oklahoma, it's not as bad because we're funded pretty well. You're still going to lose guys, but you can also get guys to replace. So it's not as bad, but some of these middle of the road types, I feel sorry for them because like any kind of small school, they're losing their best players every year. They're gone, just gone. So
yeah, because if you're playing it wherever,
yeah,
and all of a sudden Alabama or OU or Mizzou or whoever calls and says, "Hey, we'll pay you $1 million to come here," you're like,
gone.
I can't pack my bag soon enough, right?
Yep.
So
yep.
it's and again, it's not the players' fault. It's a broken system that it's like having no rules at school and getting mad that the kids did these did something dumb or whatever. You're like, well, what do you expect? I mean, there's no rules.
That's a perfect analogy. And how could you blame a kid? Just a quick story. I'll be generic because I don't know if the person that told me this. They probably don't want this out, but a kid was at a smaller school, more than happy to be at that smaller school. I would say was getting a very minimal amount of money, but it's whatever. A bigger school needed a player at a certain position. They scouted around. They found him $300,000 to come be a backup at this bigger school. And it's like, this kid's going to be the starter where he's at. And who knows what he's making? Let's just say like 20,000. I don't know. But then $300,000. And it's like, who can turn that down? And like, it's like, at one hand, it's like, yeah, this kid probably loved where he was at, but when is that kid maybe in his entire life going to make $300,000 in a year, let alone just go play football?
And if he's like in that situation, if he obviously was at a smaller school or whatever, he probably wasn't highly recruited or whatever. And so he's thinking, well, shit, I mean, this might be my only opportunity to make that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to take advantage of it right now.
Mm-hmm. And
plus,
so how
on the off chance of like, hey, maybe I'll get more eyeballs on me. I'll have, it's a bigger organ, whatever.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And to your point, like my cousins they're big softball fans, and they had a pitcher out at Stanford who pitched for 2 years, and then she left to go to Texas Tech. They paid this softball player $1 million to go to Texas Tech. And they were hating on her, my cousins were, and I was like, whoa. You wanted this girl to turn down $1 million to go play softball? I was like, actually, you should be fighting for more girls to get this in the sport that is a non-revenue sport. Like, this is actually a revolutionary thing. This is not the kid's fault. How could you turn down $1 million as a college softball player? You could not. So yeah, I'm with you. The kids are not to blame for this.
It's like you said, it's like something that we've always said needed to happen in some regards, but then there was like you said, they let it. It's like they just opened the doors and then turn the light or shut the door behind them and said, whatever happens,
all yours.
I don't want any part of it.
Yep, I don't want to know.
Kids, it's like you finally give in, like the kids have whatever, and then you're like, I'm not gonna sit here and watch. So could be like, it's like, oh, Dad, I really wanted that knife set. And like, all right, cool, go play with it. Like, I'm not gonna watch. Yeah, well, what do you think's gonna happen? They're probably gonna cut their hand off.
Yeah,
and that's probably what's happening. So we'll see. But hey, can't do anything about it now, and so we'll watch the playoffs this weekend. So good luck, OU. Good luck to the Chiefs rebuilding this year.
Good luck to Gardner Minshew.
Boy, we legitimately probably will lose to the Titans this week. So, and honestly, why would you want to win these last 3 games? Just get a better draft pick at this point.
Yeah, there's just
I
no.
mean, they're going to rest anyone that's decent, and I mean they should.
That game's gonna be nasty.
Oh, it's gonna be a whole new world for the for my both boys, but definitely Cohen, who's really into it. It's gonna be a whole new understanding of Chiefs football. So we'll see.
Welcome back to the dark days, right?
It's yeah. At least you have Mahomes on back there where he's coming back. Whereas those years, the dark days, you're just like I don't even know we got Castle to root for, and that's it. And
yeah.
so yeah, it's listen, it'll be back, we'll be fine. But I'm trying to put a positive on it and be like, yeah, they were out anyways. Let this be like he rebuild his knee, or really literally rebuild his knee, rebuild the organization. They needed, because any real Chiefs fan could see the writing on the wall. Not necessarily that he was going to blow out his knee, but like that it was like hanging by a thread, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I kept telling everybody, it's like, well, if they still got a chance, if they win out, it's like, guys, we're not good. That's the problem. Like maybe they could win out because it's not the toughest, but what are they going to do? I mean, what do you think they're going to do in the playoffs? Like, what have you seen that makes you confident that what could happen in the playoffs is different? So, I mean, them not making it didn't really hurt my feelings or surprise me, because they're like, well, I mean, that's the way it's been all season. So
it's what my dad was like, I just think they'll win out and make it. That was for the Texans game. I'm like, the problem with that, like, it's like I think you're thinking of like the past Chiefs team and not this team because it's like,
yeah, different.
I haven't seen any evidence that this team's going to win out against anybody, and they've lost out so far, since that. They haven't
exactly
won a game.
Every time it's like, well, we got to do this. Like, no, it's over.
Yeah.
It's like Chris Jones afterwards was like, well, he was trying to be positive. I know what he's doing, but he's like, yeah, there's still the off chance that this, and then one of the reporters is like, you're out, and he's like, oh, we're out, and he's like, yeah, he's like, oh, and he almost like it's like didn't realize that until right now.
He's like, huh, I guess I'll go to Cancun now.
Guess I'm done.
So
that's the other thing. That there's stats that show like the Chiefs, or in the Mahomes era, the Chiefs have played like literally like I think it was like a full season more of games than any other team in football. Because if you think about it, they've played 3 more games ish every year, 2 to 3 games. Let's say 2 games on average for 9 seasons. That's a season.
Yeah.
And so they've played a whole nother season of football than any other team in the NFL since Mahomes. And so they probably are a very tired team in general.
That's what's going on with the Florida Panthers right now in hockey. They went to the finals 3 years ago, and then they won the Stanley Cup, went to the finals again 2 years ago and last year, and their top 2 players are hurt, and they've been hurt all year because they're freaking tired. Like they're exhausted, and I could see where the Chiefs would be that way for sure. Yeah, because like I said, you're either winning the Super Bowl or losing in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, and yeah, same with the Panthers. So
yeah, I honestly, Shoddy, I think it could go bunch of different ways this year. I think it's tough. The AFC especially. Like my Super Bowl prediction, the winners are playing tonight with the Rams. So we'll see. I've liked what they've done best all season, but if you made me pick an AFC team, I would have said Patriots until they lost that 21-point lead to the Bills, and now I have no idea. I really don't. I don't know what happened in that game. That was crazy. I picked them to win. I thought they would win. And I was like, yeah, I told you. And then it just slowly slipped through your hands throughout the game.
It's tough because, the top 3 seeds as of right now, and this could change: Denver, New England, Jacksonville. I don't know who you rely on there. Then Pittsburgh's leading that division. I don't think they're very good. The Chargers, I think, are a team that's tough, but I really don't think they're that good. The Bills, I think, have a lot of problems. Texans.
They got Josh Allen. That's that they got.
Yeah, exactly. Texans, maybe. I mean, they're hot, maybe, but
the defense can go take them pretty far. they give about anybody trouble, and that defense does. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, I as much as I hate to say it, like, Denver just is finding ways to win these games, and you know, and I hate it. But you know, them coming back and beating what was it, Green Bay last week? You're like, wow, really? Like, you know, that felt like a game they just could not get. You would lose, you know, midway through that game. And so, yeah, they just seem like maybe a team of destiny in some ways, like just finding ways to win these games. That's probably going to do them a lot of good as they go down the run here. But again, like, I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams you just listed beat them. You know,
I wouldn't either,
because it's almost like all season they should have lost, and so you're like. Feels like maybe it's going to sneak up and hit them at the wrong time, but in the same regard, maybe they've done enough to be battle tested. But yeah, I'm probably going to root for the Bills just because I like Josh Allen. And maybe if there was ever a year that he should do it, it's without Mahomes, it's without Lamar, it's without Joe Burrow, like all these guys that are perennial guys that are not in the playoffs this year, which is odd enough, right? So that will be, you know, it feels like the one common thing is Josh Allen is in the playoffs, and you know, he's been able to pull off shit out of his ass 2 weeks in a row, and that's what it takes sometimes. I mean, look, like those two games are insane.
Yeah,
that he did.
Yeah, the snow game for sure, and then last week as well, crazy.
Yeah. At New England, like the hottest team of football.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. It's very, very wild.
The Bears are sneaky. I'll give you that. I kind of slept on the Bears all season, so. I don't trust they'll get a playoff run, but they are better than I thought they'd be.
I just can't see them winning in the playoffs. Maybe a game. I can't trust them. But yeah, I mean, listen, great season, and if they can beat Green Bay this week, really great season. So
shows how good that coach is.
Yeah, he's done a hell of a job, and you know what, Caleb Williams, he's been pretty good.
Yes. Yep.
Pretty shocking, really.
Like, that's the thing. I don't think he is like the next Mahomes or whatever people wanted to say. You and I have talked about that, but I do think he's far better than he showed as a rookie, and that's because of the coach and got the most out of him. But yeah, he's done exactly what you need a quarterback to do.
Yep,
for sure.
Yep.
And defense has been solid, and yeah. So yeah, I think the Bears are that. Yeah, the NFC side. I not really going to be surprised with a lot of these teams. Like, I am kind of low key excited to actually watch the playoffs this year, watch the Super Bowl for the first time in what feels like forever, and like not be like a fucking mess the whole time. Just watch it and enjoy it like I used to the good old days of just eating food, drinking beer, and watching a good game. You know, so that part I am a little bit. I'm silver lining, right? So
I do think the playoffs in general and the Super Bowl will be great. It's just going to be hard to predict.
Ooh, hard, but should be fun betting. Obviously, us Missouri residents are enjoying that here lately. Oh my gosh, it's like I bet every night. It's insane. I have money on something I got like, oh, that's on. All right, I'll put something on that.
It's been great.
Constant. It's been amazing. So
yep.
So bad. It's so good, so bad. Or Cohen's like, who do you like? Who do you got in this game? Like, well, son, we're rooting for the Spurs tonight. You know? All right, guys. I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. Good luck this weekend. And, hey, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate. We'll see you guys. The next time you see us, we'll be doing the draft in what is it? A week and a half. So we'll see you guys next time. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Good luck.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Blinkers Off. Join our horse racing community at racingdudes.com and follow us on Twitter at racing_dudes. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.